All eyes are on the markets this morning after they plunged in reaction to President Trump's announcement of a sweeping new round of tariffs.
Yeah, I spent my whole weekend switching between basketball and this economy. The Dow lost more than 2,000 points Friday. It was only the fourth time in history that's happened. And the CEO of one of the country's largest banks is speaking out this morning. Jamie Dimon, head of JP Chase, says the tariffs will likely increase inflation and are causing many to consider a greater probability of recession. And he also talks about America's dominance in the world and the issue with that.
Yeah, his firm says there's a 60% chance of a recession right now. Over the weekend, a blanket 10% tariff on most imported goods went into effect. On top of that, on Wednesday, more Trump tariffs ranging from 10 to 50% will go into effect, hitting more than 180 countries and territories. But President Trump is holding firm overnight and this morning. We have team coverage across the globe. Whit Johnson starts us off from Wall Street. Good morning, Whit.
George, good morning to you. One trader who I spoke with this morning described this as fear and loathing across the markets, calling this another aggressive sell-off. And that's what we're watching right now amid uncertainty and a lack of clarity about what's going to happen next year. We're seeing right now with the markets open, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and S&P 500 opening significantly down. The S&P, of course, where millions of Americans have their 401ks, their retirement savings. All of this signaling another difficult day here on Wall Street after trillions of dollars were wiped off the board at the end of last week. When the markets closed on Friday, that was the worst week since 2020, during the early days of the pandemic and at the end of President Trump's first term in office. So today, the markets are already down across Europe, across Asia, and a lot of anxiety about what happens next. George?
And Whit, over the weekend, some of the president's allies in the investment community called for a pause in these tariffs, but so far he's holding firm as late as this morning.
George, that's right, and it's really that uncertainty that's fueling a lot of this and the expectation that the markets will be in turmoil throughout the rest of the day here. Again, after the White House and the president himself downplayed the sell-off and the potential risk of a recession and the impact of these tariffs. We know administration officials are insisting that further tariffs will be implemented later this week and that the fears of a recession are unwarranted, but many analysts see it differently. We heard earlier from the head of one of America's largest banks, Jamie Dimon of JP, for example, raising the odds of a recession in this country to 60%. George?
A lot more questions than answers right now. Okay, Whit, thanks very much.